The information blowout that we are getting right now with Sonic Superstars is quite crazy right now. This game should be high on your list, I think, if you're a Sonic fan. All this new footage is really interesting to talk about, and this should be restoring your faith in this game if you ever had any lost in it for any reason whatsoever. There's so many new things that I want to talk about here, but before we hop into all of this, yo, hold up. Did you know that 70% of you guys are not subscribed to the channel? A lot of you guys keep on returning to these videos, so those of you who keep coming back, why not hit the subscribe button? And if you're new here and you end up enjoying this video, I hope that makes you want to subscribe. Thanks, guys. So first things first, the Sonic short that just came out recently that was about 5 minutes long, which I believe was called The Trio of Trouble. This animation short was really interesting and I loved it. It was probably the best animation we've seen come out of a Sonic promotional material in quite a long time. Yeah, I even think it was better than the Knuckles prologue for Sonic Frontiers, animation wise at least. And of course, there was no dialogue as it's a classic Sonic animation, and the classic characters don't really express dialogue throughout things. But nonetheless, it was really entertaining and really funny. And also the action was just really good. Seeing Fang come down in his little hover vehicle was really interesting. Tails actually doing stuff. Honestly, every character was doing something in that animation, which really pushes the idea of Sonic Superstars being about the multiple playable characters. In a way, it kind of reminds me of Sonic Heroes. Everyone's important. And honestly, it's just something that I love to see. And of course, this animation ended with something pretty ambiguous leading up to the actual game itself. And we see Trip, the new character, throughout this animation, and they actually seem to have a tribe on the mural on the walls in this animation, and it's kind of like a Sonic Adventure. Honestly, this entire short actually gave me Sonic Adventure vibes. I feel like the story they're going for is probably the classic Eggman messing with something ancient, and then an ancient tribe had to tame the beast, and Eggman seemingly trying to untame that beast for himself, but of course it's probably going to backfire on him like usual. So yeah, right off the bat, Sonic Superstars is giving me Sonic Adventure 1 vibes, if I'm being quite honest. And that's really cool. Even in the animation, Sonic was doing a very much Sonic Adventure face, and no one can tell me I'm wrong on that. Come on now. I just feel like this was just a big treat, honestly. And it really just does get me excited for Sonic Superstars, and yet I already was excited for it. I've never had doubt in this game, but I think it's safe to say that even just off of this animation, my faith in Sonic is honestly pretty much restored. After Frontiers in this game, I don't really worry about Sonic like I used to anymore. After Sonic Forces, it was just a really hard hit to me in the franchise, and it was really hard to believe 100% of where they were going, they were gonna make it. And yeah, they made it. Not without a few scratches and bruises, of course, with Sonic Frontiers, but Sonic Superstars doesn't really seem to have a bunch of scratches and bruises. It just seems like it made it through safely. This game really does feel like it's safe, but not safe in the bad way. It's not too bland and doesn't do anything not unique, because that's not true, it does. This is a classic game with an entire online battle mode / co-op battle mode. All new zones. It's been a very long time since we've had that, but that shouldn't really be a feature. Let's just say that's the status quo. Even still, this is the first 4-player co-op Sonic classic game. And innovating on the idea of Chaos Emeralds, allowing them to each be a own power-up, is honestly one of the best ideas they've come up with in a long time, in my opinion. Some people are calling them like Wisps, but I don't really think it's the same, because Wisps were never permanent. Once you get a Chaos Emerald, it's always permanent. You always have a Chaos Emerald. And I honestly think that's just a really great innovation that they've done with Sonic Superstars, and it gets me pretty excited to see how they do even more, like with the level design. Something that's also quite amazing is the soundtrack for this game already. It already sounds really great. And T. Lopes worked on the Speed Jungle level, and this song sounds crazy. You guys heard it in the intro of the video, but listen to this again. If they keep up this kind of heat, this soundtrack could just be better than Sonic Mania. I know it's a pretty big task because Mania relied heavily on older songs that we already love, but a lot of these new songs sound really great and are probably going to be used in a lot of YouTubers' videos going forward. especially Speed Jungle. And honestly, this is another way that my faith has been restored in this franchise, is the music. Sonic Forces music wasn't terrible, it wasn't even bad, it was pretty good, but like Frontiers is amazing compared to it with the type of music we got. And of course, Sonic Superstars music is also pretty amazing. I also just recently have seen that they dropped a battle mode overview trailer, which had Evan from Tails channel, shout out to Evan from Tails channel, doing a voiceover overview for the trailer, and that trailer is pretty cool. I think battle mode will be something that's really nice and a great addition to the game overall, and it actually adds usage for the medals you collect within Sonic Superstars. This game is just kind of what I think everyone's been asking for since Mania. I feel like the only thing is that it's just not a pixel game. If it was pixelated like Mania, I don't think people would have as much gripes, because then it would just be Mania the sequel but with original zones. I think it's understandable if you don't enjoy this graphic style, but I don't think that means the game isn't as good as Mania just because it visually looks different. It can play just as good or even better than Mania, even have better level design than Mania, but because it doesn't look like a pixel game, and that probably doesn't appeal to a lot of classic heads. But in my opinion, this game is the perfect bridge between classic and 3D games when it comes to graphic style, because it's 3D graphics but on a 2D playing field. All in all, I'm quite excited for Sonic Superstars, and I cannot wait to play it October 17th. That's a crazy week because Spider-Man and Mario dropped, but I'll probably be playing all of them at some point. But Sonic, of course, I'm really hyped for this game. I love the promotion that's going on for it, and I think my faith in Sonic has been fully restored. The only way it can go back down is if Superstar somehow sucks. But right now, it's pretty high up there. Keep it up, Sega. Don't stop.
Well, whatever happens.